Hi guys, am I audible to you all? If on the chat box you can just give me a thumbs up, we'll quickly start with this. Now your results are just around the corner. Okay, and I wish you all the very best. Now just before that, I just want to take you through this Russian and Ukraine crisis, its impact on India, and what we can do as investors or to protect our capital. Now, being in this industry and knowing about corporates, we have to understand how the corporates functions and what do investors do as well. We have an entire subject on securities law which talks about these things. In professional level also we have corporate funding, so it's better we understand this. Okay, so let's begin with this. I just require a thumbs up and I will begin quickly. So am I audible to you all? Yeah, if in the thumbs up you can give me, or maybe in the chat box you can tell if you can hear me. Okay, so let's quickly begin and understand this particular crisis. Begin with this. I just require a thumbs up. So let's start. Yep. Okay. So let's understand what is this particular the Ukraine crisis and this. Now we all know Russia is in war with Ukraine. Now we'll see who is the parties involved. So we have Russia and Ukraine. The Russian president, we all know, is really taking the shots. His name is Vladimir Putin. Okay, so we have Putin on one side. Okay, we have Putin, and on the other side we have Zelensky. He is the president of Ukraine. Now, how did it all start? To understand this crisis, we have to go back into history. Now, after the World War II, which ended, it really did not end. A Cold War started after that. Now, the Cold War was somewhere around 1945 to 1991, the Cold War. Now, who are the participants in the Cold War? Now, Cold War was between the main participants was the United States of America, and we had here USSR. Okay, we had Russia and USA on two sides. Now, the Western Europe joined with USA and Eastern Europe joined with Russia. Now, these were the alliances. Now, the USA along with its alliances, all of them, okay, these alliances, the Western bloc of Europe, like your UK, they all came together and formed a military organization called as NATO. So it was your North Atlantic Treaty Organization 1940, which was founded in 1949. So the NATO was created by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations. Now all of this is to protect ourselves from USSR or Russia. So these were the 29 countries, 30 countries approximately in the NATO countries, all of them saying that we need to stand up against Russia in case if they ever attack. Now, so the main countries here we can see is your USA, UK, Canada. Now, all of these countries are important to understand. Okay. Now, once this happened, let's understand what is exactly NATO. Okay. So they joined together, and what did they really do when they go join together? They say that when one nation in NATO gets attacked, it is as though you've attacked all the countries together and all of them will attack. For example, if I attack UK, it is as though I've attacked the entire NATO countries, 30 countries, and they will all attack me. So it kind of says that united we stand, they all stand together. So they all these member countries, these 30 member countries offer each other military protection. Now, all of this against obviously saying that we need to be protected from Russia because it was the opposite rival country. So NATO was a North Atlantic Treaty Organization founded in 1949 as a defense alliance. Okay, and all of them came together, and NATO kept expanding its member countries from 12 to 15 to 17 and to 29, and then today there are 30 countries. Okay, now how is all this connected with the Ukraine crisis? Now, firstly, after the World War, they got together, all these countries made NATO, saying that whenever Russia attacks us, we will all attack Russia together. Ukraine wants to join NATO. Now, obviously, if Ukraine joins NATO, it really makes Russia uncomfortable. Russia would be like their NATO is getting stronger day by day, which becomes a threat to us. So, Russia told Ukraine, since in the Europe, Russia is the biggest country. After that, it's Ukraine. Now, Ukraine being a nuclear country, joining NATO automatically makes Russia very, uncomfortable and a case of threat. So, Russia has told Ukraine, you will not join NATO. If you do, we will declare a war. Now, the president of Ukraine said that we will join NATO. You can do whatever you want. You have no rights. We are a sovereign country. You are a sovereign country. So, Russia said it doesn't work like that. We are not allowing you, come what may. And they have a certain Putin has some reasons, and we will see to it what are those reasons now. Now, firstly, NATO country would be very happy to bring in Ukraine on their team. So UK president, he has said that they have, after the attack by Russia on Ukraine, now all the member countries, NATO countries, are now going to put pressure on the Putin. Okay, so Russian companies and banks will be banned from raising funds in UK, said the PM Boris Johnson. So UK has put in sanctions. Even if we go to see Joe Biden, USA, the major player in NATO, has also said that we are not looking for conflict, but if at all Russia attacks us, we will, Russia continues its harmful activities, we will not fail to defend this alliance and stand up for the this value. So obviously we have Russia versus the NATO countries, to which even Ukraine wants to join. So NATO countries are really protesting against Russia. Now, when we see and listen to the other side of the story from Mr. Putin, how can Putin, why is he declaring a war? Obviously, war is a last diplomatic resort that a country does. They have decided we will attack. Now, why? Let's see. Vladimir Putin is saying that to Ukraine, that listen, you are a part of Russia, USSR, you were a part of Russia, and our ancestors have formed you. You want to join with our enemy country? That's not allowed. You are with us. We are one and the same. So let's see what Vladimir Putin is trying to say. He's saying Ukraine is not just a neighboring country. It is an integral part of our history. So he's trying to say that Ukraine is Russia. Okay. Modern Ukraine was entirely created by Russia. Okay. So we had created Ukraine, and Ukraine got separated from USSR in 1991. Now they got separated and now joining a rival NATO country. So Putin is not liking that. Now he's saying that Russians and Ukrainians are one and the same because at one point of time we were one. Just like to give an analogy, India was part of India. Bangladesh was a part of India. We had, at one time we even had Pakistan, we had Afghanistan, all a part of undivided. But now they have divided and they are doing what they want. So can we now exercise control? Can the British exercise control on us today? Answer is no. We have got sovereignty. Same way Ukraine has got sovereignty, freedom, independence in 1991. Now whatever they want, they can do it. But obviously what they are doing is going to affect Russia. That is why Russia is not going to allow that, because NATO is going to get too strong. Now what is the position of India in all of this? Now India is having very good terms with the NATO countries, that is USA, as well as Russia. So I believe that Indians and the Indian embassy will really sit on the fence, not take sides, and only ask for peace and ask for stopping the violence. So India is not going to take sides, according to me. It's not going to say whether Russia is correct or Ukraine is correct or USA is correct. It's simply going to say that try to find a peaceful solution and do not engage in war, because we have many treaties with Russia as well as USA. So we are going to be a neutral country in this war. Now coming to the impact of this war on the Indian market. Now, moment the war was declared, Russia declared war on Ukraine, which actually brought in around 5% fall in the stock markets of India, which is approximately $200 billion was wiped out from the Indian markets. Now, when I say wiped out means what? If you have holdings, your money must have gone. If I have holdings, I must have lost the money. Collectively, $200 billion have been wiped off because of this war in the Indian market. Now question is, what can possibly be done to protect our capital from falling in this free fall environment? Okay, so political situation, we will be neutral and ask for peace. Now what can we do to protect our money, because really it's going to wipe off the funds? So there are certain option strategies which I will share with you, and certain techniques which I have done, which really protected me from the downfall. So even though the market fell, I made profit on it. So there is a certain strategies which are used in times of downfall. When the market crashes, how you can make profit. So let's see. The first one, now this might not be there for you in that detail. So it is called as a protective put. So you have to buy put options. So if I'm already long, now this might get a little technical for you. Now if you're a long or you're holding certain positions, okay, you're on a buy positions on stock, and let's say you're a long-term investor. So obviously if the market crashes, you will not sell. अगर market गिर गया, क्या तुमको लग रहा है long-term investors बेचेंगे? You think the long-term investors will sell? No. But can you be sitting ducks and just bear the loss? Answer is no. So if you don't want to book your losses but still want to protect yourself, you will take a put option. A put option in the market. So when you take a put option, what happens whenever the market falls? Let's say the market fell. Okay, market fell 5%, etc. In this scenario, in the buy positions, in your holdings, you will have a loss. But since the market has fallen, when you buy a put option, if market falls, you gain. So that much amount will be your profit. And you will notice your net will be less loss and you will be protected. So you have to buy put options when the market is going to crash in such big fashion. That's the first strategy, called as your protective put. The second is the strategy which I incorporated in the market of what fell yesterday, was your commodity derivatives. Now commodity derivative itself, many people don't understand. They might still, some might understand, but commodity derivatives is even lesser what people understand. Now I've traded in commodities, derivatives, currency, futures, options, everything, and I use the technique of commodity derivatives because of arbitrage opportunity exists. I'll explain. Now in commodity derivatives, there is a arbitrage opportunity. Now when I say arbitrage means what? You can make there is some loophole in the market which you can make profit from. Okay, that is called as a arbitrage situation, risk less profit. Now obviously some amount of risk is always there in the market, so I'll explain what is the scenario. Now pay attention. Whenever, so I all with me, this is an important strategy. I'll be showing what I did, okay, along with the graphs that we've used to really trade on this stock. So if you all are getting till here, can you all give me a thumbs up? Yeah. So what happened is, here in commodity derivatives, whenever Nifty crashes, okay, Nifty crashes means we saw Nifty crashed, etc. That time, what happens to the commodity market? What happens to the commodity markets? Can you tell me, gold and silver, what will happen to gold and silver? Will it go up or down? People would find the stock markets very risky, volatile, and would prefer to park their investments in safer like gold and silver. Yes or no? Because this doesn't fluctuate that much and it's a safe haven. So whenever this crashes, so when Nifty crashes, commodity goes up. Till here it is clear. This is a basic principle. Whenever it crashes to a huge extent and gets very volatile, commodity market reacts differently. Till here it is clear. Now I'll tell you what is the arbitrage in all this situation. What is this riskless game? Now Nifty opens at 9:15 AM. Market starts at 9:15. Whereas commodity market starts at 9 AM. So can you see there is a 15-minute time gap? There is a 15-minute time gap. Commodity market starts exact at 9 AM, whereas Nifty's the stock market starts at 9:15. So there is a 15-minute time gap. Now what happened is, moment Nifty crashed. Now before 9:15 only we came to know that Russia had declared war in the morning and it had attacked. So, and internationally markets had already fallen. So I knew at 9:15 the market will crash, and crash big time, because we could see in the other countries, we could see in NSG Nifty, okay, all of that is going to come down. So I immediately went and bought gold and silver in the derivative market because I have my holdings here. So I was in plus, I was in long positions in Nifty. So obviously I will, when the market will crash, I will crash, my stocks portfolio will also crash. So to take it safe, we go in gold and silver at 9 AM. So when the market opens at 9:15, it will crash, but gold and silver will go up. So let's see what was the scenario. And exactly that happened. This is the chart that we drawn for Nifty 50. Okay, so trading is done on basis of certain technical analysis. This is how we made. Now this is Nifty 50. Can you see that moment the stock market came, it crashed here. Can you see this crash? Directly it had a downfall. And we knew this because of the war-like situation. Now this was what? This was Nifty 50. Now if I see what happened to gold, exactly the opposite. Exactly the opposite. This is the chart for gold. Okay, now this again we made. Now when you see what happened to gold, it went up, it shot up, okay, went up. So if you see what is happening to both the graphs, this is gold and this is Nifty. So when Nifty is falling, gold is rising. So there was an inverse relationship between stock market and commodity market. Okay, basis of that we took the position, and then you can see I took a position in gold as well as in silver. Automatically in a manner of few hours I made the profit of 14,000. Okay, so this way I have hedged myself, because I know that this crashed big time, but beforehand only we can go and buy in commodities. And now for long-term investors, if obviously you might not know about protective puts, commodity derivatives, but if you see from the long term, these crashes keep coming and it's always been there. But as a long-term investor, if you see, the market has always kept on going up and it will keep on going up only, even though there is a crisis now. So for long-term investors, it's very, very safe. You can leave it, not read the day-to-day news, because that creates a kind of a panic. Now, here if you see the long-term investors, how the percentage of time long-term investors lose their money in the equity market. So we are seeing here you have the time investment horizon, and here we are seeing the percentage of people who are losing the money. So if you just have a 1 month horizon, around 40% people lose the money. But if you increase your horizon to 1 quarter, only 37. Then if you increase it to 3 years, only 22% of the people lose the money. And if you take 20 years time horizon, you keep your money for 20 years, only 0.3% lose the money. So keeping it for long term, really the chances of making gain is much higher. So what I'm telling you, for there is no investment at all. It's just for knowledge sake right now. All of this is done after huge amount of knowledge and experience, not to be entered into the stock market just like that. Now this is one thing, and I believe we have a subject called as securities law in executive. In CS professional we have corporate funding, and I have taught for for Bombay Stock Exchange as well, and in ICSI also I used to teach finance at the CS professional level. So that's it. Having said that, today is your results. I wish you all the very best for your papers. Second, we have our Telegram groups. You can join us in our Telegram groups. You can download our apps, and soon we'll be active and be coming out with more and more videos for you all. I want you all to give a small thumbs up if you like the video and you want more such informative videos which really enhances your knowledge beyond books as well. Okay, all the very best. Take care and